Welcome back, everybody. Today, I have been playing quite a bit of ranked, and so I want to give you my top 5 decks right now, not in any particular order, but what would I be using to grind ranked. And before we go any further, I do need to pick a winner for the Professor's Research Full Art. So we're going to roll it right now. We're going to find out who won. X-Arrow 32. Thank you so much. You have won the Professor's Research Full Art. I will hopefully respond to your comment or make my life easier. Drop a comment on this video if you're watching. Thank you so much. Guys, don't go anywhere. We are going to be giving away another card in this video. More details on that to come. But what are we doing? So let's take a look here. Now, I want to start with my number 5 pick, the Alolan Mogger. So there's something you're going to notice about this meta right now, and it is that we are pretty much exclusively looking at 2 decks. Hydreigon and Altaria. That's basically all of ranked right now. Mostly Hydreigon, I'll be honest. Probably 60% Hydreigon, 35% Altaria, 5% you'll run into something else. But that's kind of all it is, especially once you hit Master Ball. Before that, you'll run into a little bit more variance. Some decks that are just stupid and suck, but, you know. So what I have here is a very, very greedy Buzzwole list. Insanely greedy. I don't even know if I recommend building it the way I've been playing it, but this is what got me most of the way to Master Ball, and it was a lot of fun to do so. So you can see we're running one of each of the Grass Ultra Beast, and then a Celesteela, and that's it. Now, what if I was to, you know, try to make this deck a little bit less rambunctious, a little less insane, I might take out the Leaf Cape and I might take out the red. And then you can go double Kartana, double Celesteela. At this point, so the Pheromosa is what's going to help you a bit more against Altaria, because your game plan in Altaria is kind of, I'm just going to ignore whatever is going on in front of me. I'm not going to bench my Buzzwole EX. I'm just going to ignore whatever's happening and keep pinging that Swablu that's trying to become an Altaria. So then you can go, Pheromosa did a bunch of damage. Altaria comes up, knocks that out. The tiny Buzzwole swings back for 80 damage on it, and then Buzzwole EX finishes it off. So the Pheromosa is good for that matchup, but the Kartana can also give you some utility. Against the Chinglings that they're throwing into the active spot, Kartana's going to one-shot it. That's very good. The 40 damage is still, you know, if they start Swablu, that's a good 40 to get in on them. Just keep damaging that thing before it becomes an Altaria. Against Dinos, Hydreigons, Kartana's going to one-shot them. That's going to be an easy win. Just knock out the Dinos as they come to you. Put a Leaf Cape on the tiny Buzzwole, and now it has enough HP to live any attack from Hydreigon. This deck is really here. It has an okay time in Altaria. It's not the best in the world, but it has a really good time in a Hydreigon. It's a pretty good counter pick for all the Hydreigons you're going to be running into. What I really like about the list is it's not going to lose to anything too weird. It's going to have a problem with the stall decks, yes. It's going to have a problem with Blazikins, Fire-type decks it's not going to love to see, but Oricorios, Altarias, and Hydreigons, none of those are really too terrible, so you can get away with playing this. And to me, it's one of my favorite decks of all time. I really love the Buzzwole package. Pause. Good deck. But if you want to run a less greedy version, take out a Leaf Cape, take out a red, and just go double Kartana, double Celesteela. That'll allow you to get that turn 140, hopefully donk a Dino, a lot easier. So this is a deck I love. I hope that you guys have as much fun playing it as I did during day 1. You know, honestly, I'll just say it. I would recommend going, take a Leaf Cape out, take a red out. But this is the list I was playing on stream, so I want to show that. But you know, my actual recommendation, go double Kartana, go double Celesteela, do those changes that I said. Also, watch out when you put the starting planes in play. If you put that in play too early, you'll lose yourself the game, so watch out. I just gave you a Hydreigon counter, so now I want to give you an Altaria counter. And again, that's kind of how I want to frame it, because seriously, the games I've been playing, it's all Hydreigon, it's all Altaria. Those are the 2 decks I'm running into the absolute most. And this deck right here, while it can beat Hydreigon, you kind of lose to your opponent going turn 2, Rare Candy Hydreigon. They just dish out too much damage for the Steelix to deal with. But against Altaria, dude, Altaria cannot touch this deck, man. Especially when you throw a Cyrus in here. I really like having the Cyrus in the list instead of double Heavy Helmet. I don't love having to go look for that double heavy or the single heavy helmet. It can be kind of tricky to find sometimes, but having the Cyrus in the deck, I think, is it's just very, very needed. Because Steelix isn't going to be one-shotting anything, and because you're so slow to set up, your opponent might be able to just set up double attackers, and between, you know, 3 or even 2 different attackers, it's too much damage for the Steelix to deal with. This is a wall deck. You set up the Steelix in the active spot, use the Indeedis, the Pops, and the Pokemon Center Ladies to just keep the guy from ever dying. A couple downsides with the deck. It is kind of draw dependent. I guess every deck is, but a little bit more so. Like, if you go first and you're down on that energy and you don't have Brox in your hand to speed up the energy attachment to the Steelix, it's hard for him to live enough turns for you to win the game. You're going to have to get lucky with the Lucky Ice Pop. You are... I forgot what I was going to say. You need to be careful with the Indeedee benches. If you bench your Pokemon, if you put too many Pokemon on the bench, that can lose you the game as well. So those are the 2 things to really look out for. Is, yes, it's like pretty draw dependent. Indeedee benches can lose you the game. You probably don't want to just go throw double Indeedee down all willy-nilly. You probably want to go Onyx in the active, 1 Indeedee on the bench, play it by ear, see if you can get away with the second Indeedee. I remember the other thing I was going to say. These games take forever, bro. These games take forever. People are going to get salty at you, and they're going to spend all 90 seconds on their turn. I think they changed it now, though. So if you spend too long on your turn, you start to, like, lose time per turn. Or that's only if you leave and then come back. Something like that. I swear I've been seeing my opponents be given less of a timer than they used to. But those are the things to worry about with this deck. Unfortunately, countering Altaria is a lot harder than countering Hydreigon. Altaria just takes some solid matchups across the board. It's a really, really tough deck to deal with. But in my opinion, I don't mind the Altaria as much because it is a lot less of a brainless deck. It is a lot less of a, where can't the Hydreigon? You know, like you actually got to do something. You got to think a little bit with the Altaria deck as opposed to just, can I copycat for 4 into my Hydreigon? Oh, I did. I win. Let's go. You know, I don't respect you Hydreigon players. Anyways. That's Steelix, though. He'll do very good against Altaria decks. This next deck is brought to you by Jimbo. He's been sending many screenshots in the Discord of him turn 1 donking with the Tyrogue. And this is Daycare. So I mentioned earlier I was going to be giving away another card. Now, I don't have the most fabulous things to give away, unfortunately. But what I do have is a Lusamine from the Deluxe Pack EX. And what that's going to require is not a sub to my channel, but make sure you're subbed to Jimbo's channel and drop a comment. Let me know that you have subscribed to Jimbo. I will have him vet you. So if you're chosen and you're not subscribed, you're not getting that full art Lusamine. But Jimbo, great content creator, makes some awesome decks. I really recommend go checking him out. He's way underrated. I mean, he's got less than 1,000 subs. So go show him some Tilly love over there, man. Let's get that number up. Can we get him to 1,000 subs? Probably not, but I believe in you guys. So Daycare. Now, I'm showing you this deck because it is the ultimate, even more than Hydreigon, it is like brain off, go, go, go. Games are supposed to be done in 3 turns. I used to play this deck a lot when it was Arceus and Darkrai, and I loved it for Ranked. It was one of my favorite decks for Ranked because of how fast you went through games, how little you had to, like, there's just no thinking. The most you're going to think is, where does the energy go? Like, sometimes you might need to pause for a turn, pump on the brakes a little bit, and spend another turn using one of your energy accelerating babies to get the energy on Mega Kangaskhan. So then on your next turn, you can go Darkrai Ping plus Mega Kangaskhan attack. But with Red, with Darkrai, we are able to hit for 180 damage in 1 turn. Now, you see here, there's no Pokeballs. Now, according to Jimbo, and this is also how I played the deck quite a bit, there's a technical mathematical line where it is more consistent to run this amount of baby Pokemon plus your attackers as opposed to running, you know, like 3 or 4 baby Pokemon and double Pokeball. This just mathematically works out better and gets you into the turn 1 Mega Kangaskhan plus Magby, Pichu, Mantike energy acceleration for it. So that's why you're seeing no Pokeballs in this deck. Now, we do have double Serena, right? So instead of playing two Snorlax like we used to. We used to play double Arceus, double Snorlax. Now we can just run double Kangaskhan, double Serena, and that works fine. The one Ilima, in case you start the Mega Kangaskhan, also you could just go for the very powerful play of, here's Mega Kangaskhan, he's attacking, okay, Ilima him up, bring him back up, go into a baby, put 2 energy on him, he's ready to go for the next turn, which is a stupid, annoying play. No Sabrinas, no Cyruses. Again, we are here to go fast and destroy our opponent. Downsides, Mega Kangaskhan takes double damage from Rocky Helmet because he does attack twice. It is a deck that, you know, doesn't really have the legs to go on that long, which Daycare never really did. Again, it was kind of, I hope that my Pokemon are gonna knock you out and the game's gonna be over by like turn 4, right? I'm gonna accelerate energy, Kangaskhan's gonna attack, Kangaskhan's gonna attack one more time, I win the game. That's the hope for the deck. So you're not playing anything to try to give you much of an edge in the late game. This is just strictly, hey, this is a fun deck, I like playing it, it's a good time, and it's gonna win you games fast. So once again, shout out Jimbo, link in the description, subscribe to him, leave a comment, giving away full art Lusamine. Those were some fun decks. Unfortunately, we have to get real and we have to talk about like really the 2 best decks for ranked, in my opinion. Here we have Hydreigon. Like, I gotta show you it. It's the most played deck in ranked. This is what literally everyone is running. This is a full greed deck list, which I don't even know that I would agree with playing it this way, but I don't play Hydreigon. I don't think there's a lot that goes into it. It really is just rare candy, Hydreigon, boom, I hopefully win. It's kind of it. So I don't prefer to play this deck. I will usually pick most other things. But so these full greed versions, I don't know how much I love, because we're getting into a spot where Chingling is everywhere. And so if you're a Hydreigon player, it might be time to put this wireless back into the deck. Now, another reason why I don't like Hydreigon is, like, all of these cards look awesome to have in the deck. I would want a Lucky Ice Pop. Maybe I could go without 2. I'd want a Sabrina and a Cyrus. I'd also want the Absol with the Leap Over attack, but where do you start making the room for it? Like, this is my real problem with Hydreigon, is I don't feel like you can make a deck list that has everything you want, which would increase the depth of the deck, right? But there's just not the space to do it. So it's not a deck for me. It's too one-dimensional. And as you start adding in some people, like you literally cut depth for like less depth. You add depth, but also get rid of depth at the same time. So you add a baby Absol. Well, cool. Now I can do some bench snipes and set up some Cyrus plays and all of that. But I lose, like, Lucky Ice Pop, which is just kind of a consistency card to keep the Hydreigon alive. Or you lose the Sabrina, which is just another play at your disposal that's gone. You're just trading one play for another. And I'm not sure what plays I like the most in Hydreigon when, you know, main thing is, can I go Rare Candy Hydreigon turn 1 or turn 2? That's kind of what I need to do in order to win any games with this deck. If that's not happening, I'm going to be in a weird spot. So, you know, man, it's Hydreigon. Like, this is honestly, if I had to name a problem with the meta, it would be this guy. But at the same time, again, this is a very simple deck, and I know I kind of, like, you know, rail on it a little bit, but honestly, man, if this is like a deck that you're comfortable with and this is what you play, this is what will get you the most points, then sure, man, like, play it, bro. This game's about having fun, and I say it a lot. But the decks that are the most fun for me are where consistency and my playstyle meet at a perfect intersection. Or you know, the consistency of a deck is, you know, I'll take a little bit less consistent deck if it meets my playstyle more, but I won't play something that's like hyper consistent, but doesn't meet my playstyle. That's why I don't play Suicune. That's why I don't play a deck like this. It's like middle tier consistent, but also not in my playstyle at all. So yeah, as long as you're having fun, man, then go for it. Run the Hydreigon deck. It is probably the strongest deck out there right now. This is my true #1 pick for ranked. You guys might be disappointed in me because it's the exact same as last set, and that kind of opens up a bigger conversation of, damn, this set sort of flopped, didn't it? All it really did, like, truthfully, is it made Hydreigon better, which has pushed Suicune out of the meta, kinda. I'm not seeing Suicune at all. I'm seeing like no Suicune. Suicune's kind of washed because there are other Altaria variants also keeping it in check, which means I can play this deck more. This deck doesn't have the best time in a Suicune, but it can deal with it, but more often than not, it can't. But the other Altaria variants do deal with Suicune, but this one is my favorite because I think it is very favored into other Altaria decks, and it is very favored into, like, Hydreigon, because we have Chingling. Chingling with all these greedy Hydreigon players, plus we have the Greninja to boost our Altaria's damage, so even if a Hydreigon gets healed, I can still one-shot it, or if they bench their Absol too soon, I can just Greninja ping, Cyrus it up. Now, of course, you know, this is why I gave you guys, like, 3 more fun decks with varying play styles at the start, because I know not all of you are Greninja fanboys like me. I've loved Greninja since the moment the card came out. It's kind of crazy that in Genetic Apex, they gave me the exact card to suit my exact play style in the game, but they did. So I still get a lot of enjoyment from Greninja, honestly, like this deep in. It's how I play Pokemon, how I always prefer to play Pokemon. I love putting damage with abilities or with, you know, attack effects. Like, I don't know that we have many in Pokemon Pocket, but if we had a card that was like, you know, do 100 to the active and then do 30 damage wherever you want it, or 30 damage to 2 Pokemon or something like that didn't suck, I would love that deck. I would be all over it. So, like, Greninja is still my way to play, and honestly, I didn't think it would still be as strong because it sort of wasn't in the last format, but I think what a lot of that was Hydreigons that weren't being full greed, playing the Zweilist in their list, so the Chingling didn't really feel that great. And Suicune's also, Suicune was still everywhere. Suicune was really heavy on the Frogadier build in their deck, so the Chingling lock just wasn't working against either of those decks anymore. But now, right now, this very moment, this deck is very, very good. Or any Altaria Chingling variant. Any Altaria Chingling variant is going to farm Hydreigons. So that's like my #1 most recommended deck. This is just my preferred Altaria Chingling variant. I can go over, I'll show you guys some of the other ones. In case you haven't seen them, I haven't worked on them too much. To be honest with you, I've just worked on that one, but that list is literally the exact same as my last one. This deck is still super, super solid. Chingling, Jirachi, Tapu Lele. The Gourgeist one, I played it a little bit in ranked. It was fine. Honestly, there's not a lot of Oricorio. There's a lot more Oricorio in Ultra Ball. I'll tell you that. I ran into a few Oricorio decks in Ultra Ball. I don't think I've seen one in Master Ball yet, which makes sense to me because I don't think Mag Oricorio is actually well positioned, but people will still play it because they like it. So this is another Altaria build that is equally as good. No Greninja in there for any of you Greninja diehard haters. This is a very, very fun build. The Lucky Ice Pop on the Altaria is broken sometimes. It's so stupid. Even just like healing the 20 damage is kind of good enough at times. This is another fantastic Altaria deck. It's my, if I were you and you felt confident enough to take an Altaria deck, I would say play some Altaria variant for ranked. It is honestly the strongest deck right now, in my opinion, because it takes a good matchup into Hydreigon, and it takes a really good matchup into like everything else in the meta. This is the last one I'll show you right here. It's a Gourgeist variant with Meloetta. This is what I was trying on stream. I think I would prefer to play Chinglings in the deck because, again, the item lock is like so powerful against Hydreigon. I would go with the Chinglings. You know, I tried the Meloetta one out. I think I like the Chinglings more in the deck, so maybe go with that variant instead. But guys, that's gonna be it for the video. Let me know what you think. Let me know how you're enjoying ranked so far. I think as long as you play something that could beat Hydreigon and Altaria, you'll have a good time. You know, it is what it is. You just gotta accept that, you know, to really grind ranked, you have to accept that there are decks that are simply at a power level that is so far above anything else. And those are Altaria and Hydreigon decks. They're at a power level that is so much greater than any other deck in the format. And you playing anything that isn't one of those two decks meant to specifically counter one of them, you're probably not going to have the most fun time. So you got to look at it. What do you prefer? Do you prefer to do you get your enjoyment out of playing a funny deck and taking a subpar win rate, or do you get your enjoyment out of playing something that's consistent and will get you wins if played correctly? I think once you find the answer to that question, you can kind of have fun in any ranked meta, to be honest. So that's where I'm going to leave you guys. Make sure you're subscribed, like the video. I'll see you on the next one.